Hello, wonderful friends of the educative program called You Drive. Civicus World Assembly is coming up very soon. This assembly will be held from September 3rd to 7th, 2012 in Canada, Montreal. The theme of this 11th Civicus World Assembly is defining a new social contract, making the future together. Our topic this week is one of the three theme tracks of the assembly, and it is called Partnership Vital for Sustainable Development. How can partnership be a drive to social innovation? How can a community, a nation be developed through partnership? Dear listeners, our aim in this studio is to have answers to these questions. My name is Bukenina, and Christelle is accompanying me in the studio.
Yeah, good afternoon, dear listeners. And just to say, you should stay tuned because we have much for you this afternoon.
Dear listeners of You Drive, we have a special person in our studio today. I would like her to introduce herself.
Called B. Pascaline, and I work with Nwado as the administrator and partnership manager.
Okay, thank you so much, Pascaline, for accepting to be our guest of today's edition of You Drive on Foundation Radio. Dear friends of You Drive, we want to welcome you to this show. As Nina has earlier said, our topic of today is partnership vital for sustainable development. I want to start by introducing our first musical piece, which is entitled Turn Me On by David Guetta
and Nicki Minaj. Wow. Just know you are listening to You Drive over Foundation Radio. This week we choose for you a very interesting topic called Partnership Vital for Sustainable Development. Pascaline is the administrator and partnership manager in Nwado organization, and I would like her to define what is partnership and how can she relate partnership to sustainable development.
Thank you, Nina. I will start by thanking you for inviting me here. Partnership actually is a strategic alliance or relationship between two or more people, and it could equally exist between businesses, between institutions, between civil society organizations, and to a greater extent between the public and the private sector, that is the state, and the community and civil society organizations and businesses as well.
Wow, so how can you relate a partnership issue with sustainable development?
Okay, to begin with, what is social innovation in the first place? I believe social innovation refers to new approaches that work in meeting social goals. Now, this could be new strategies, there could be new concepts, ideas, and or organizations that meet social needs and of all kinds, from working conditions and education to community development and health, and that extend and strengthen civil society. Now, I strongly believe that social innovation cannot take place without partnership. Now, innovation has three stages. It has generating ideas by understanding the needs of the people and identifying potential solutions. It equally has a stage where we have to developing these ideas, prototyping the ideas and piloting the ideas as well. Now, the last stage of it has to do with assessing, then scaling and diffusing the good ones. Now, all three stages of innovation have to do with getting in contact with people, creating collaboration, creating relationships, and that to me is partnership. Now, there is no way social innovation can take place without partnership coming in, because it has to do with you being able to plant the seeds of a great idea in the minds of people, which definitely will have to do with many people, which in turn means partnership to me.
That was a good one, Christelle.
Wow. Thank you, Pascaline, for that good one on partnership and how we can relate it to social innovation. Right now, I am going to describe the theme track, and we will be discussing it concerning the Civicus World Assembly. But on that, I will be talking on building partnership for social innovation. The world has, in recent memory, but it was bipolar, and since 1989, it was perceived to be unipolar and has evolved to become a polar, I don't know whether it's a polar state or polar world, with no one being a dominant power, but with competing growing centers of powers, and many of them located in the global south. Amidst this dynamic and evolving situation, there are few attempts to bring coherence, but cooperation is stymied by the assertion of national interest by the powerful. At the same time, globalization has provoked a greater interdependence of countries, while an emerging global citizenry and globally organized civil society, facilitated by social media and people's mobility, has become more conscious of the global dimensions to highly intertwined issues which cannot be solved by the nation-state alone. Yet, despite this new and changing context, the institutions of global governance remain largely wedded to their post-Second World War origins, increasingly unfit for the current times. This demands a new global contract and more inclusive, representative and accountable supranational institutions. The completion and identity of global civil society and multi-stakeholder engagement with global governance institutions need to be analyzed in particular in the light of the post-Busan agenda on effective development cooperation and the post-Rio Plus 20 discussions in order to develop an agenda to transform global institutions. By analyzing the current shape of global governance, this track will define what global institutions are now required and what role citizens can play in building them.
Wow, Christelle. That was a brief description of building partnership for social innovation. And this statement, building partnership for social innovation, is one of the 3 team tracks to be discussed during the Civicus War Assembly. And dear listeners, our objective in this program today is to prove that working in partnership, as promoted in the Millennium Development Goal number 8, we can actually achieve social innovation, as our resource person was just saying in this studio, and thus we can attain sustainable development or sustainable future. Pascaline, who is our resource person today, is going to present her organization. She says she's from NOADO, and I would like to understand what is NOADO. Can you please introduce your organization to us, Pascaline?
Yeah, as you rightly said, I'm from NOADO, and NOADO stands for Northwest Association of Development Organizations. As the name rightly implies, it is a network organization of civil society organizations based within the Northwest region. Now, NOADO operates with a vision to build the individual capacities of the civil society organizations so as to foster growth and improve services, as well as increase the collective role of civil society organizations in driving positive regional development. As concerns the services of NOADO, NOADO offers services in 4 basic areas. We have advocacy, information sharing, networking, and training.
Okay, thank you so much. So, as we were saying, I want to know what are the types of organization that you are dealing with. Is it organization dealing with women, organization, farmers organization? Is it associations, youth associations? In fact, I want to understand what are the specific type of organization you are dealing with.
Okay, fortunately enough, NOADO doesn't have a limit to the kind of organizations that it deals with. If you are within human rights, if you are dealing with, you're working on agriculture, on environment, on health, if you are a faith-based organization, if you are a CIG, if you're an association, you are open to be a member of NOADO, so far as everything that you do brings forth development in our community.
I'm so impressed.
Wow, really? Well, okay. After knowing the various groups, organizations, and all the networks you deal with, what are the achievements of NOADO?
First, I want to start by saying NOADO has been existing for 10 years, and that is much time that it has taken to build the capacity of the civil society organizations that are its members. And within those 10 years, we have been lucky enough to have divisional affiliates in 6 of the 7 divisions of the Northwest, which has greatly facilitated information sharing and networking within all those 6 divisions. And then within those years, we have been able to collaborate with some international organizations like the Commonwealth Foundation, where we are working on developing a code of ethics for Cameroon civil society organizations. And we have worked with VSO, the Voluntary Service Overseas, and Emerging World, where we bring in organizational development advisors to build the capacities of the civil society organizations. And to add to what I just said, recently NWADO had its members shared in 6 thematic areas, which is health, environment, agriculture, socioeconomic empowerment, education, and human rights and gender. Now, through this sharing, we have been able to identify and to create common development goals from civil society organizations within all the 7 divisions of the Northwest. And within these thematic groups, they do they create proposals, and they implement these proposals to address challenges that are being faced within the community. And apart from working with civil society organizations, NWADO has gone as far as working directly with the community, where it helps educate them on the human rights, as well as making sure citizens are engaged in development by participating fully in sharing their ideas and their visions about their own community.
Okay, that's a nice one. So I guess you listeners now understand the effectiveness of partnership for a sustainable future. Coming up now is our next musical piece from Justin Bieber entitled
Ini Mini. Enjoy.
I am Kelvin Gwang Shamgong. I am Mokom Philemon.
I am Achu Sanji. I'm Mokom Nova. I'm Mokom Sharon.
I am Nils Stober.
I am Lance Weitzdorfer.
I'm Patience Akwenja. I'm Yvonne Frinui Takwe.
I'm Tala Adama. Miss Mboringong Fideli. I am Achu Jue.
You are listening to Youth Drive on Foundation Radio.
Welcome back. That was our Youth Drive slot. Our weekly edition of Youth Drive brings together some of the issues of prime concern to the youth, and it is brought to you by young volunteers of Youth Outreach Program Cameroon. I have other questions to ask our resource person, but before that, I will like Christelle, my colleague in the studio, to refresh our mind about the Civicus World Assembly 2012.
Okay. The Civicus World Assembly serves as a primary venue for civil society practitioners, researchers, activists, concerned business leaders, and representatives from governments to share ideas and experiences on strengthening citizen participation. The World Assembly's main objective is to create a space where a diversity of voices can be heard, a space to exchange experiences, challenges, successes, and dreams, and most importantly, concrete ideas for a more equitable and just world. One of the World Assembly's strengths is its ability to act as a forum where groups from all sectors around the world develop successful models for advancing national, regional, and global agendas, and for finding solutions to the crisis that the world is facing today.
Adding to what you just said, Christelle, the discussions and debate during the Civicus World Assembly will build on the diverse knowledge, skills, and experience of individuals, organizations, and networks that span sectors, geographies, and thematic areas, and on consultations carried out by Civicus in the lead-up to the World Assembly throughout its global alliance of members and partners. To guide progress towards achieving concrete recommendations from the 2012 Civicus World Assembly discussion, the program will be divided into 3 tracks. All activity sessions will relate to one of the tracks, and the tracks include track number 1, changing nation through citizens; track number 2, building partnership for social innovation, and that is our focus of discussion today in this studio; and track number 3, redefining global governance.
Wow, Nina, that's a good one. This question just came to me suddenly. And this question goes to our resource person, Pascaline. Do you have any recommendations for the Civicus World Assembly?
Well, yeah, I will start by saying thank you, Civicus, for the wonderful idea to be able to pull youths together from all over the world to bring up ideas as to how they can develop their communities. I fall in love with the first track, which is changing nations through citizens, And I do want to recommend that if Civicus could organize regional assemblies where we have the citizens fully engaged, so they could share their ideas before we have representatives from each region coming up to the Civicus Assembly, the World Assembly, I think it will be very vital.
Nina, before you get in there, this topic we have taken today, building partnerships for social innovation. Tomorrow is the International Youth Day.
Of course.
If you can remind us, the theme has something linked to partnership with the youth. What do you think?
Oh, that's good as you are bringing this issue of the International Youth Day, Christelle. And the International Youth Day is being celebrated every 12th of August. And the first celebration of International Youth Day was since 12th of August 1999. So that was since 12 years ago that celebrating the International Youth Day. And this time around, that is the theme for the International Youth Day this year is building a better world, partnering with youth. So you see that the United Nations, Civicus World Assembly for Citizen Participation have realized that if you don't include young people, if you don't include leaders of tomorrow in all types of decisions or all types of activities around the world, we are not sure to attain a sustainable future or sustainable development. That's why everything is just centered around partnership with young people, partnership with each other in order to see a better world.
Yes.
So that's it.
The problem is this. They have discovered that the youths are pulling themselves back and leaving the organizations, the government to do everything for them. Because if you can remember, starting from the Rio Plus 20 conference that just passed in June, they were talking of youths. Bring up your ideas, share your ideas. Let's know what you want. Let's know
future
what you
we
think.
want. Yes.
So it's all about partnering with youths, partnering with the civil societies, the governments. They want us to all come together and share the ideas. Pascaline, what do you think of this idea of youths? They keep talking of youths, come together, bring your ideas. What do you think?
Well, I think it's a good initiative that has been taken. First, because that is something that had not been existing. And we had many youths falling behind, like, okay, since I have not been asked, I wouldn't say anything. But since it has come to a point where they want to hear them talk, they want to have them contribute to their own development, I think it's very vital. And plus, it is helping build their leadership skills, which are definitely, since they are the leaders of tomorrow, it will be very, very important to have their skills developed.
And Nina, if you discover, with this idea of youth, they said youths come together, bring your ideas. Many of the youths are still pulling themselves back and they don't want to talk. Does it mean we'll leave the governments to keep doing everything for us? Oh, is it time for us to act? I think it's time for us to act. So let's start. Even if we do not have that in mind, tomorrow is the International Day. Let's start from there. Let's start saying something. Let's talk.
I'll keep on reminding that think global and act local. If you have any creative idea, if you have anything to share, you need to approach people who are actually influential in your community, in your nation, or maybe why not worldwide? Don't say that no, Ban Ki-moon is at the United Nations. I cannot be Ban Ki-moon. There are many ways that you can actually make your voice to be heard. When we talk about social media, you can use internet. In fact, there are many means through which you can go to in order to make your voice to be heard. You don't need to say that Ban Ki-moon is in the United Nations. You are in your community, in a remote community that you don't even know the name of the community. You cannot go and reach. No, stop being negative in the way you are thinking, because your mentality can make you to stay at the same spot for many years. So we need to improve in our way of thinking, our way of reacting in things that concern us.
Yeah, you're right.
So, Pascaline, you were just giving your recommendation to the Civicus World Assembly, and you were saying that you want a Civicus to promote as many as possible, many regional meeting or conferences where people from Africa, for instance, will come together, people from Asia and Europe will come together and discuss about their challenges that they're facing every day. And my question now is, what are your challenges as an association of development organizations? What are challenges in the field since your creation? Because you say that it's since 10 years that you are existing. So what are your challenges?
Well, the very first challenge is civil society organizations themselves. They need so much of capacity building. We need so many people who are more advanced to come in and, actually tell us the strategies that are working in their own regions and try to see how we can use those same strategies to see how much work we can do within our own regions here. And plus, we have a community that hardly contributes to their own development. They are still a little backward, per se, and most of the things you propose to them, they see it like, God, where is this one coming from? It is against my tradition, it is against my culture, and they really don't see a reason why they have to change. But I think that as much as the challenges exist, that shows that we are doing some work, because until you face those challenges, I'm afraid you are doing nothing. Problems come because people leave and they exist. So if we exist and we don't have challenges, then it means we are not existing.
Well, you're right, and I still take the point where she spoke of getting regional and national conferences. Nina, we have this mentality that we will always wait for things to come and meet us. I don't think we should keep working on that. We should think of, when you go to the internet, there are many conferences. You see spaces where they have said this conference is coming up, this one is coming up, most of those things. It's always good to try out. You never know. Yeah, fill the forms, send them. You can send as many as possible. You never know. You might be taken for one you didn't expect.
Of course.
Yeah.
So thank you for that additional information. And Pascaline, you were talking about the challenges, NOADO, that is the Norway's Association of Development Organizations. And you talk about lack of or limited capacity building sessions. You talk about socio-cultural constraints or challenges. So I would like to know, what do you think can be the solution to encourage partnership? How do you think we can actually wake up the citizens that are still sleeping, whereas they have a lot of problems to solve? How do you think that can be overcome?
Based on NOADO's strategic plan for the next 3 years, we have the idea of developing partnerships with the academic and business communities, developing partnership with the local councils, developing partnerships with other civil society organizations, with international organizations based within the Northwest region or Cameroon. And we believe that when you create partnership as far as getting to the councils, that is where you can get to the community directly. So we want everybody to fully participate, getting the citizens fully engaged in their own development within their community. So I think if we go as far as doing what we intend to do, creating as much partnership as possible, we can achieve that.
Thank you so much. Dear listener, this is You Drive on Foundation Radio, and I would like to invite Akon and Snoop Dogg to sing for us the piece Daydreaming. Enjoy.
Youth Outreach Program Cameroon.
Founded in 1993 as a youth association.
Started functioning in 1995 and strongly committed to working with young people,
fighting poverty and inequalities in their communities.
Our vision:
we seek a Cameroon where all young people
contribute to the development of their communities,
gain and share valuable skills vital for adulthood,
live healthy lifestyles,
have equal opportunities.
Our mission:
empower young people with skills needed to make informed decisions,
thus creating a better society where they are healthy,
responsible,
and actively involved in the development process.
Youth Outreach Program:
developing skills,
enhancing capacity,
building the future.
You Drive on the Foundation.
You Drive
for the younger generation.
That was Ayop Slot, and as you already know, You Drive is a weekly educative program brought to you by the Youth Outreach Program, a community-based organization whose activities are centered on youth education and community development. Let's get back to our studio talk on partnership for sustainable development. I have this question for our guest today, Pascaline. How can the civil society work together with the government?
Oh, thank you, Christelle. You started by talking about partnership, and I think the only way that the civil society can work together with the government is through partnerships. That is being able to have a common development goal that works for the government as well as for the civil society. If there is a national agenda of development, I think that is what they can work together to achieve. Now, the civil society exists in all the regions of Cameroon, and I think if you can go as far as relating directly with the local councils, which are the carriers of the message to the communities, I think there can be much change there. Now, what is the agenda of the local councils in your community? If we can be able to understand and work together to drive through development, I think it will be very
interesting. Nina, we have this idea of, we're like asking Pascaline how the civil society can work together with the government. Talking about partnership is one thing, and getting the people to sign these partnerships is another thing. The government, not all of them want to have partnerships with civil societies. They always have this notion that, and what the government says is right, so that should be respected. What do you think?
Christelle, every day we are organizing meetings. Every day we are singing the same song that we are still living in poverty. We are still complaining that the 8 Millennium Development Goals that was signed in 2000 during the Millennium Summit have never been achieved. What is the reason why those Millennium Development Goals have never been achieved? Is simply because there is a problem somewhere. There's a problem between people acting for the development. If the civil society is out there to develop the nation, the communities, the way he understands, the government is also out to develop using its own strategies. The problem is now that since you people are out for the same aim, for the same objective, why is it that you people cannot come together and work together, put your forces together, put your ideas together, your experiences together in order to build a better future? So that's where the problem lay on. When the government minimizes civil society, saying that no, those are individuals who are out to get money, to feed the population, to make them think that they can do something fruitful, whereas they're nothing. You see, so there has to be a compromise.
This takes us back to the fact that there's this belief that, anyway, when you go, you want to say that thing is found on paper, so we don't really believe in it. And it takes us back to this point. We have conferences. They always have conferences, seminars. When they sit at the conference, they'll say, this is what has to be done, this is what they should do. But at the end, nothing is done. That's why we are standing at the same position. We are talking, signing papers, but we are not acting.
That is it. And then when they're signing those papers, they are saying that we have smart goals. We have smart goals in front of us. So let us achieve the goals. But when you go to the field, nothing's been done. Everybody is just making sure that his personal interest is being fulfilled, and that's all. So that's why Civicus War Assembly is another opportunity for civil society, youth associations, organizations, in fact, stakeholders are going to come together in order to find solutions to those problems that are making us to stand at the same place, whereas time is going on, years are going on. In fact, let us be realistic.
Of course.
Yes. Let us stop dreaming and giving fake promises.
So, this one goes to our guest again. What can be learned from our new forms of social innovation, such as social entrepreneurship and community-based projects?
That is a good question. Now, I'll start by saying that majority of us depend so much on the government to make ends meet. It's like, I need to write this concours to be able to get a job, get my matricule, and have a monthly salary. But I think as much that we equally need to think about ways of self-employing ourselves, and then one of it is through being an entrepreneur. That's having your own business or having a community set up a business that would help improve on the livelihood of the community members. As much as community-based projects are concerned, I thank God for the local councils that do exist. And if they will do their work very well, I know that they will seek the opinion of their community members in everything that they are doing. So they will be able to identify the challenges that each community is facing. And while identifying the challenges, together with the community members, they can identify potential solutions. And when this identification of potential solutions come in, that is when we can say, all right, this is the project that we will carry on within this community to eradicate this challenge also.
Okay, that's nice.
Thank you so much, Pascaline Beat, for accepting to be our resource person today in this program, which was out to discuss about a partnership vital for sustainable development. And we would like you to extend your greetings to your loved ones.
All right, thank you for the privilege. I want to just say hi to every youth out there that is listening to me. I'm not a very old person. I'm not an adult. I'm a youth. So as much as we can sit here in the studio and we talk about things that are affecting youth, you can equally sit there and talk about it even to your neighbor. This is what I want to happen in my country. This is what I want to change in my community, and keep doing the good work.
Dear listeners, Youth Drive was brought to you by Youth Outreach Program Cameroon. You can contact us through your Facebook by searching for Youth Drive, or you can use our email address ydrive08@gmail.com, and you can also search for us on our webpage www.youthdrive.blogspot.com or www.yopcam.org if you want to get more information about Youth Outreach Program. Our postal address is PO Box 5185 in Bamenda, or you can visit our office located at Mile 1 Junction, Bamenda. Just to say a shout out to the Assas family at Up Station.
Thank you, dear friends of Youth Drive, for listening to today's show on partnership vital for sustainable development. Next week, we will be back in this studio with another topic called local and national contribution to international decisions. Keep on listening to Good Vibes on Foundation Radio, and next week, we are going to discuss about this topic. My name is Bukenina, and I would like to extend my greetings to all the listeners of Foundation Radio. Bye.
Members were being arrested for mismanagement of HIV and AIDS funds. So how has that affected your activities?
Well, I do not think that the arrestation of some of the members had anything. It's a national program, okay? This is a national program. It's not a program for some specific people, okay? The fact that there has been mismanagement and some people have been arrested does not mean that the program is going to stop, because they did not start the program, okay? It's a national program that was put in place by the head of state, okay? And the head of state has ensured that the program goes ahead, because we are targeting people, we are trying to carry out prevention, we are trying to get access to treatment for those who are on treatment, we are also trying to support orphans and vulnerable children so that they can continue.